Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's Jeremy Thiel here from Drivercheck. Our next guest on the show is a familiar face you may have seen from the past Fitness for Duty summits. But we have Andrea Morley here, who's the Communication and Wellness Coordinator with NAL Insurance and Healthy Trucker. NAL is the largest provider of workers' compensation alternative coverage for owner-operators within the trucking industry. NAL protects over 300 fleets and has over 10,000 owner-operators across Canada. NAL has been protecting drivers on the road since 1955. And as a spin-off of NAL, Healthy Trucker was formed. And what Healthy Trucker does, it's a health and wellness solution designed specifically for the trucking industry. They provide such things as wellness resources, education, challenges to drivers that they might be feeling on the road, and to owner-operators, to office staff across the industry. So that's why we have Andrea here today. So welcome, Andrea. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much for having me, Jeremy.
Good. It's a pleasure as always. And what you'll find is Andrea's actually going to lead us through another stretching exercise during the summit. And the main reason why we feel like the health and wellness and the stretching component is so imperative, not just for the trucking industry, but anyone that works, at their computer desk all day long. Just the reminder of getting up, moving your body, eating properly. Everyone, this can relate to everyone out there. So with that in mind, Andrea, what's the biggest hurdle that you hear about from people when they're not making health and wellness a priority?
This is a really good question because it's kind of changed over the years. So we used to hear the typical reasons and hurdles such as, I just don't have time, I'm too busy, or I don't want to, things like that. People would be very honest about that. But these days, it's not necessarily the case because at this point, almost everybody out there has tried to make at least one health or wellness change. Maybe they've just tried to quit smoking, or maybe they have tried to lose weight or to get off the blood pressure medications that they're on. But unfortunately, because we have so much misinformation and conflicting information in the health world, with the majority of it being inaccurate, we do have a lot of people, and the majority of people have tried and have unfortunately failed or not met their goals and didn't get to accomplish what they had wanted to, whether it was the quitting smoking or the weight loss. So that seems to be a really big hurdle, is just that so many people have tried and then they feel as though they failed, and then they just don't even know where to pick back up and start again. They don't know what's actually going to work for them this time, because they did put in the effort and it didn't work for them. So then they just don't know where to go from there.
So, and I'm sure we can all relate to that. I am a huge believer in a little can go a long way, right? And so we talk about the theme being take control. And to me, what take control is, how do we inspire ourselves and motivate others to take immediate actions that they can implement today? And, not making it seem like such an uphill battle, but little incremental changes can do wonderful things, right? So you hear all these struggles that people have. So what do you do to kind of have people turn that corner to help them be able to, get back into it and make it a priority?
Yeah, definitely. So I always like to look at exactly what people are doing right now, whether they are trying to make changes to their diet and lifestyle and exercise routine or not. We just need to look at what they are eating, what their sleep schedule looks like, what their exercise routine looks like, whether it exists or not, and then make adjustments specifically to what they're doing right now. And then that will allow us to make changes that will actually work for them, versus just telling everybody that you need to drink 8 glasses of water a day and that you need to eat 5 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. No, we need to look. So for you, Jeremy, we would want to say, okay, you're eating 4 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Let's bump that up to 5 or 6. Or we might want to look at some root cause issues that you're having. So maybe you say that you're struggling with sleep, or maybe you say that you just got off a round of antibiotics and that's causing you some gut issues. We're going to address that specifically, because that is what Jeremy is dealing with versus the rest of the population.
Okay, so very unique to each individual, because what works for me might not work for for Andrea, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So with all the phenomenal things that you've done with inspiring like healthy changes within the trucking industry, what's some of the like positive feedback that you hear people once they start making health and wellness a priority?
I love to see people implementing changes and feeling and seeing the results of that. And I think a lot of people are surprised by how good and how easy it feels to make those changes and how doable it is. So, for example, a lot of people are surprised at the types of foods that I have them implement and the things that they don't necessarily need to cut out, because they're surprised by not only the types of foods that they get to eat, because they get to eat real food, real meat and potatoes and lots of fruits and sources of sugar like honey and maple syrup, like foods that they really love. And they also get to eat a lot of that food. So I really, really encourage people to work on supporting their metabolism, which means eating enough food and eating really good quality, real food. Like I talked about, honey, maple syrup, fruit, potatoes, meat. Those things are all going to support your metabolism, allow your body to run efficiently, allow your body to burn lots of calories, supporting your energy levels, supporting your sleep. And then everything is going to function better as a result of that. And they're surprised at how enjoyable that is, because they never thought that they could eat lots of potatoes and fruit and honey and maple syrup. They've always been told that carbs are bad, but I don't take it that approach. I encourage them to eat those real foods, and they get real results from that.
So I can relate very closely to this topic. So I have awful eating habits, as in I don't always eat breakfast or I don't eat lunch because I'm so busy with work and you just don't have time. But I found the impact that had on me emotionally. I was, crashing and maybe having like just more frustrations. We talk about hunger pains or being hangry. And, I'm in my 40s and it took me this long to really understand my own body. So within the last 6 months, I've been very mindful of when and how often I'm eating. So, and knowing what my body feels good with eating and what it doesn't. So, I love sandwiches, I love bread, I love cereal. I haven't cut that out. I might not be eating Lucky Charms every day, but I'll replace Lucky Charms with like a healthier choice, like a Cheerios or a Shreddies. White bread is the death to my stomach, whereas whole wheat bread, I feel good. Do you know what I mean? So understanding that our body really needs to be fueled so we could operate both physically and mentally.
Yes, exactly. And that's what's so important, is that you have actually paid attention to the specific foods that do and don't work for you, as well as the schedule. So you notice that not eating until middle of the afternoon, it was working okay for you. You were getting through, but you weren't feeling your best. And then you decided to try and implement something else, to try something else that was maybe going against what you normally would do, or what a lot of people are telling you to do, like intermittent fasting, only eat for 4 hours a day. No, you went back to the basics and said, hey, I can eat cereal. It doesn't hurt my stomach. It makes me feel good. It fuels me in the morning. And you picked the right ones. That's so important.
And to me, we're all busy people, right? I'm hungry, I eat. I don't need to wait. I can take the 1 or 2 minutes, right, to unpack a lunch or go down to my fridge, or if you're, on the road, having that snacks readily available. So no one gets a trophy for powering through hunger pains. You know what I mean? And what I found is just more energy and clearer focus. And what that did for me is I'm now operating on a calmer demeanor. So during stress and anxiety, I'm not feeling those fluctuations of like raw emotions of rage because I'm frustrated because I haven't ate for 6 hours.
Yes. And like physiologically, that is 100% true. It checks out, because when you are not eating and you're putting your body into that fasted state, that's actually a state of stress. And your body is then releasing stress hormones to keep you going. So then, of course, if your body's releasing adrenaline and cortisol to keep you going throughout the day, because you're not relying on glucose or sugar and carbs, then your body releasing those stress hormones is naturally going to make you feel a little bit more stressed out too. You might be a little bit more angry in traffic or get a little bit snippy with your kids. those types of things, because of course your stress hormones are elevated all because you're not eating. But if you would just fuel your body a little bit more throughout the day, let yourself have some carbs, you'll feel good, you'll have energy, and you'll be in a better mood.
And I can attest to all that. So now nutrition, again, we were talking about a little can go a long way. Nutrition is just one component. The other things that I've learned a lot from you over the years is the impact of focusing on physical wellness, as in being active. So can you talk a little bit about what people can do to, promote healthy practices for physical well-being?
Yeah, definitely. So I talk a lot more about nutrition, and I like to treat that as kind of the first area that we want to address, because that directly impacts your health markers the most, as far as your weight and your gut health and those types of things. However, physical activity is so, so important because of how it makes you feel and the way that it integrates into your diet. So with physical activity, you get to see a really immediate benefit from it. Afterwards, you typically feel fantastic. And when it comes to physical activity, I don't encourage people to be doing necessarily really, really intense workouts, running marathons, doing like hour and a half CrossFit style workouts. Because for the majority of people, their body is in a state of stress right now because it's recovering from illness or injury or just years of unhealthy living. So I don't encourage people to take that route when it comes to exercise, unless it really is working for them. They really enjoy it, but still you can cut it back to things like 45-minute workouts, and you're going to get fantastic results from that if you do it the right way. But like I said, when you exercise, typically right after, you feel really good. That's because when you're exercising, your body is releasing endorphins. We've heard of that. Your body's releasing other hormones such as dopamine, norepinephrine, and those immediately, hormones control everything in your body, but they also control how you feel. And those are going to make you feel good. So that means deciding the types of exercises that you enjoy and that do actually make you feel good. So if you feel terrible after doing a weightlifting workout, don't do that right now, because it's probably creating too much stress on your body and you're not getting the benefit from those feel good hormones and endorphins. So then maybe just going for a walk is what's going to trigger the release of those hormones and to make you feel good. And then, of course, we also get the benefit from being more flexible. It makes you feel good in your body. You're in less pain. If you are able to do strength workouts and build some muscle from that, being strong also makes you feel good. It makes you more able-bodied and less prone to injury, as does flexibility. So we're getting the benefits from exercise from all different areas, from that immediate hormone release of those feel-good hormones, from the flexibility, the reduction in pain, just feeling confident in our skin because maybe our posture has improved from doing more workouts and building some strength in our back and not having that forward shoulder. We feel good when we are a little bit more fit. But again, that all has to come with changes to your diet and other areas of your lifestyle, reducing stress, improving sleep. They all, there's so many different pillars to your health, and we need to be addressing all of them. But when it comes to exercise, like I said, choosing what makes you feel good, whether that's walking, stretching, yoga, kickboxing, weightlifting, kayaking, whatever it is for you, that's what you need to be doing just a little bit more of. And if at any point it doesn't make you feel good immediately after or a few days after, maybe that's not the exercise that you need to be focusing on right now.
So that is very insightful, right? Because people say, oh, now I got to start exercising. Like you said, do I have to run a marathon? And it actually demotivates people to do it because it seems like such a big uphill climb. And so what I found, again, with myself, I find exercise is a great outlet of stress and anxiety. So
Yes.
much like, when I know I'm hungry, I feed my body. And if I'm feeling stress out or anxiety of just built up energy, I will go for a walk, or I'll listen to my favorite music. I'll find an outlet. I have a home gym in the basement, or I'll jump on my bike. And again, I'm not looking to do 10 kilometers a day or anything. I'm just spending 15 minutes outside on my bike, or walking, getting fresh air. And so that little can go a long way. It really helps to build up the healthy practices, but being in tune to not wait till tomorrow to start. It's all about taking control today. So there's nothing stopping anyone from what I call self-care, self-love, and dedicate that 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, to yourself. And you'll find that it's less, again, this is just my opinion, but it's less about having a regimented schedule where I have to go to the gym at 5 a.m. every day. That doesn't work for everyone, right? So it's listening and being in tune with your body to do it when you can and when you're motivated to do it.
Yes, exactly. You brought up two things that I would like to address because they're really, really important. You said that doing exercise helps to reduce your stress levels. And I talked about how exercise releases those feel-good hormones, but I forgot to mention how it actually brings down your stress hormones as well. So cortisol and adrenaline being two of your main stress hormones that are released when you are anxious or super busy with work and life and kids, things like that. So just going for that walk is going to help bring down those two stress hormones. And that's also going to contribute to how you feel. And then you also said that just being outside for that 15 minutes, doing that little walk or workout, that is also then contributing to making you feel better and getting you healthier. The more that we can get outside and out of our polluted houses, because there are unfortunately so many materials in our houses that are causing the air indoors to be more polluted. So the more that we can get outside, the benefits of that workout are just going to increase tenfold.
So we're talking about physical activity to be healthier, nutrition. And so we've really touched on a lot, but can you deliver a little bit more on the insight for how it's impacting our mental health?
Yeah, when it comes to our mental health, that is also connected to what you're eating, definitely. So physical activity, does give you more immediate benefits when it comes to your mental health. But then when it comes to your diet, the more that you are implementing positive changes over a long period of time, that is when you're going to see the benefits to your mental health from your diet. So for example, diet tends to take a little bit longer for you to get those real results and the feelings, only because you're working to repair your body in a much different way than with exercise. So for example, if you are dealing with gut issues, I mentioned that earlier. And yeah, exactly. So many people are dealing with gut problems and leaky gut syndrome or dysbiosis with the gut bacteria. So your gut is directly connected to the way that you feel as well. And there are a lot of studies that show people with leaky gut syndrome or maybe Crohn's and colitis type issues where they just have a damaged gut lining. Those people are finding that they have poor mental health as well. And it's not just that they're frustrated with what they're dealing with, it's that chemically their bodies are damaged, and that is what's affecting their mental health. It's not just in their head. It is a direct connection between gut health and mental health. So as they work on improving that over time, they'll see the mental health benefits from there. Maybe as they are working to just fuel their bodies with real food and they're actually starting to absorb more nutrients because they have improved gut health, or they're just eating better foods and eating more nutrient dense foods, getting a lot more minerals in. Those things are really going to help to support our hormone levels, which is going to help support our mental health. Mineral balance is really, really important. Again, there's a lot of studies coming out showing that minerals are directly connected to mental health as well. Things like copper. We're seeing a lot of people with copper imbalances and copper deficiencies, and that's directly connected to our mental health as well. So we talked a lot about physical activity, but I really do want to bring it back to the fact that we need to be focusing so much more on our diet than we are, and making sure that we are getting in lots of nutrient dense food and healing any of those root cause issues that we are dealing with, because that is when you are going to see your physical health and your mental health start to improve.
So I totally understand all of that, because I'm relating it back to myself. Because I've gone through with my tummy problems, and if I crush a pizza, I'm going to be in pain for hours and hating myself for doing it, because I know every time I eat too much pizza or McDonald's or whatever, I feel shitty. And now with people who have those ongoing problems, what I find is you're spending your energy almost out of guilt or remorse for eating something, or maybe not having the answers, right? So if you can imagine freeing up your mental capacity so you're not worrying about those things constantly, or the end result, or how you're feeling like garbage, and instead you make these healthy choices, and whether it's through nutrition or exercise and all these things, I find it frees up your mental capacity to actually put it on, focusing on stuff that's actually productive.
Yes.
Solving problems, solving challenges, instead of bickering with yourself or second guessing things in the back of your mind.
Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to your health, so many people are dealing with very complex issues, and complex health issues. So we see that a lot of people these days are dealing with like stealth infections that are very difficult to heal. Things like Epstein-Barr virus, mold exposure, Lyme disease, all of those viruses and pathogens tend to have a direct effect on our mental wellness as well. And then they're very hard to kind of dig your way out of if you're not working with the right practitioner on how to heal your body from those types of things. And then that's just going to make you feel even worse. And you kind of spiral into this hole of becoming more sick and not knowing what to do, and just becoming more frustrated with the situation as a result.
Okay. So we've mentioned, and for all the audience, they know, the theme of this year's summit is take control. So what would you say to someone today as to how they can take control of their health and wellness, today?
Yes, that's a great topic. So every single person that's listening to this and tuning in right now, you guys are all very, very different as far as what health issues you may be dealing with. So of course you need to pay attention to that and think about what maybe medications you're on, or what health issues you've been diagnosed with, or just the way that you've been feeling and sleeping and everything like that lately. But something that every single one of you can do is either go home tonight if you're at the office, or if you're already at home, start planning your dinner tonight. And you're going to make it really, really simple, but it's going to be real food and it's going to be nutrient dense. You can pick a meat, maybe it's beef or chicken or fish, whatever you like. Pick a carb, potatoes, or maybe white rice, such as jasmine rice or basmati rice, and pick a vegetable. Okay, so pick your protein, your carb, your vegetable. That's your dinner for tonight. Season it with salt, with butter. Believe it or not, I'm telling you to do that. It's going to help get your minerals up, get you some healthy fats, and it'll help you to absorb all the nutrients in that meal. And just eat a really basic, nutrient-dense, healthy meal. Flavor it with lots of herbs, the salt, the butter, make it taste really good. Just focus on something really simple and nourishing. Eat that meal. Go for a leisurely walk if you can, if it's safe to do so wherever you are and if the weather's okay. But we are having really great fall weather right now. So get out and enjoy that. Go for a leisurely walk after dinner. That's going to help you start to digest your food. It'll help to get peristalsis moving to help your digestion. But don't do an aggressive workout right after eating, just a leisurely walk. And then get to bed at a decent time tonight. Maybe you can go to bed 15 or 30 minutes earlier than normal. Don't let yourself get trapped into the trap of scrolling on your phone for an hour or two before bed, online shopping, or watching Netflix. Try to avoid that tonight. Those are the 3 things that I want you to do: a really nourishing, simple meal, a leisurely walk, and then get to bed as soon as you can. Those three things will do wonders for the way that you feel at the end of the day. Maybe you'll feel even better tomorrow morning. You probably will, unless there's a lot of other more complex things going on. And it's doable. You can do it again tomorrow and the next day.
So those are all very simple tips, right?
Yes.
So that's how someone can take control of their own health and wellness immediately. And so one thing that I found when I started making better eating choices, I was told to actually like feel the food, enjoy the food, feel the energy that it actually gives you.
Yes.
And then when you go on your leisurely walk, instead of focusing on, the busyness of life and, literally slow it down, look at the clouds, listen to the birds, listen to the wind, and really put yourself in a frame of mind where you're releasing all that built up negative energy and focus on what we call the background, right? And the background is the trees, the birds, the wind, and feeling less again, when I talk about self-care, self-love, that's time for yourself or for your loved ones to enjoy together. And I find that when you kind of put all that noise into the background, you're going to feel that energy or inspired or refreshed almost immediately. And of course,
Yes.
after sleep, you feel like $1,000,000, right?
Yes, exactly. Everything that you just said is so true. And I'm glad you really put it that way, because we tend to rush through those chores, the things like cooking dinner and eating and then going for that walk. We're rushing through that and not actually enjoying it. But those are the things that we are actually meant to be enjoying in our lives. We're not meant to be enjoying scrolling on our phone and just being sucked into this little virtual world on this 6-inch screen. That is not what our life is meant to be about. Your life is meant to be lived outside of the screen, all around us, outside, with your friends and family, in the kitchen, enjoying really good, simple, healthy food, and take the time to make that food actually taste good. If you don't like boiled carrots, that's fine. Roast them, bring the flavor out of them. Like, get yourself to a point where you enjoy making your food because you know how to make it taste good and how to make it nourish you. And then get off the screen.
So to bring it back to how we started the whole conversation about people, the challenges that they face, and I know a lot of people have failed, and so they're skeptical to try. So what would you say to those people, that've tried, that have failed, to inspire them or motivate them to try again?
Oh my goodness, you are not alone. If you have tried, you feel like you've tried every single diet out there, the paleo diet, Atkins diet, keto diet, Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers, if you feel as though you have failed over and over and over, you are 100% alone. And it is not your fault that you failed, because you were set up to fail by these programs that are not actually working and are not meant to work for your body. That your body does not need any of those programs. Your body needs real food, real nourishment, and just a simple approach to it all. And if you implement that, eating real food at all hours of the day, supporting your body with carbs and protein, and fruits and the maple syrup and the honey that I talked about, and salt and butter, over time, you are going to feel better and better, and it's going to become easier and easier. And you're never going to have to pay another dollar for any type of diet program, Weight Watchers type of thing ever again.
So that's awesome. And the piece I love about it is it does get easier, right?
Yes.
Because you're once you put this into daily, everyday life, you spend less time thinking about it and you just end up living it. You just end up doing it. And then with all of us feeling so much stress and anxiety because of the pandemic, we're able to handle some of those stressors because we actually have a clearer mind and more energy to put towards things that are actually productive. So checking that health and wellness box, you will see immediate changes that are going to benefit. So if you have given up, try again. And if you need support, find that outlet, whether it's your partner, your friends, family members, letting people know that you are motivated to make changes and how they could potentially help.
Yes, exactly. And again, going with the support, if you do need support, maybe you have some root cause issues that are affecting your health that are kind of difficult for you to navigate on your own. Find a trusted practitioner, whether that's your doctor or a naturopathic doctor. They are real doctors and they can really, really help you through some difficult health issues. Maybe you start off by working with them and they can kind of get you to a place where you're then able to take control yourself. Take control again. That's the whole purpose of this. You are able to take control of your health. You might just need somebody to hold your hand at first and kind of give you the building blocks again, just to address those severe gut issues that you might be having, or the other infections that you've dealt with, the mold exposure that you've dealt with that's making you chronically sick. And then from there, you're going to take control with all the other aspects, your sleep, your walking, spending time outside, and improving your diet. You can do all of that.
Awesome. So I could go on for a long time with you, Andrea. So we'll say that for another episode, but I love having you back again this year. I always find something new and informative whenever we chat. So appreciate it from all of us at Drivercheck for attending this year's summit.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a great conversation, and I hope that everybody has been doing okay over this last year and a half, and that you're all like starting to kind of take control of the situation, take control of your health as much as you can. And I hope you all kind of got something out of this talk today.